Hello, everyone. This is The Voice is Your Voice. Welcome to The Voice, Your Voice. Dastagir Jahangir from Washington, D.C. Today, the 16th December marks Bangladesh's Victory Day, Bijoy Divas, celebrating the triumph over the Pakistani army under the leadership of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and the Awami League with support from the Indian Army in 1971. The war cost 3 million Bangladeshi lives and 2 million women were raped. The freedom fighters' slogan, Joy Bangla, meaning freedom of Bengal, still resonates today. Let's welcome our special guest today, Dr. Abdul Noor. Dr. Abdul Noor is an esteemed international development expert, acclaimed author, playwright, and novelist, with a professional career dedicated to advancing economic and social development in some of the world's most disadvantaged regions. He has worked extensively across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, Latin America, also in Caribbean. Over 35 years of his illustrious career were spent at the World Bank in Washington, D.C. Dr. Noor has also contributed to numerous development and educational initiatives for organizations such as the Islamic Development Bank, the European University of Peace, the Austrian Study Center for Peace and Conflict Resolution, and the Arab Bank for Africa Development. As a creative writer, Dr. Noor works are rich and depiction of the human spirit and resilience. He masterfully portrayed the struggles and triumphs of everyday individuals spanning the Caribbean, Bangladesh, India, and the United States, while exploring the universal themes of faith and human connection. Thank you for joining the Voice of Your Voice today, Dr. Noor.
Thank you, Mr. Dr. Jahangir, for inviting me to your esteemed program and also allowing me to hear the most precious voice and the words, Joy Bangla.
Joy Bangla. Thank you.
And Joy Bangla. And we seem to think the word Bangla and Joy Bangla came only early 70s or so. But if you go back to the history, we'll find that our land, the land of Bangladesh, if you look into the map of Bangladesh, when you go back to 100 years, 100 AD, we'll find this land is called Bhongo or Bongo.
Okay.
Which is again, when the cartography or mapping science started, Abraham Ortelius, he called our land Bangala. And when the Mughal came, before the Mughal, when the Delhi Sultanate came, they gave this land again Bangala, while rest of the India was known as Hindu or Pagan. So Joy Bangla is the word, is the sound, is a voice that has come for thousands of years for the millions of people of my land, Bangladesh. And this voice is going to stay. And this sound and this call of Joy Bangla is going to stay for all thousands of years until the civilization ends and until the Bengali, not Bengali, I want to use the word Bengali, though
Okay.
the colonials use it as Bengal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would like to use the word Bengali. We are Bengali. As long as Bengali is in this inhabited the world and the globe and contributing. Now, when I
Before
reflect, yeah,
before you go any further, Dr. Noor, I want to ask you, after a 9-month long bloody war against Pakistan, born out of the two nations theory that divided India in 1947, Bangladesh emerged as an independent sovereign nation in 1971 when the Pakistani army surrendered to the Allied forces in Dhaka on this very day, 16th of December. So we call it Victory Day or Vijay Diwas. Yet, why does it feel like we are still searching for freedom?
it's a it's a it's a critical question. Yes, you are still searching for freedom, but again, if you call 16th of December, which we are calling it as Victory Day, it is not really a day of victory in the sense, yes, there have been a confrontation, there have been a fight, there have been a liberation where two sides surrendered and three sides worked and surrendered. It's a victory for one group to another group, but it's not the day I would term 16 December. I will turn that 16 December, if you use the word Bangla word, as Protoy Dibosh, or to translate it some way as the day of promise, the day of promise for a promised land, which my earlier generation has promised to my generation, to me, and my generation has promised to the future generation, our generation. This is the day of the promise, keeping promise, the day of promised land.
The
Now,
16th December.
yes, of 1971. Why? When that struggle for promise came, not freedom, freedom will come later. First is promise.
Yes.
There is a saying that you may heard from your fathers and grandfather. I'm not sure whether our younger progenies of 2024 have heard about it or not. If not, they should know. In 19th century, 1910, 1920, 1930s, all over India,
Mhm.
under British rule, wherever the intellectuals in the universities or in the political fields or in the administration, they would say a proverb, not a proverb, a truth.
Yes.
It was what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow,
Exactly.
which means during 1910, 1920, 1930s, the Indian intellectuals and the progressives were fighting for independence of India
Mhm.
from British colonialism. Were looking to Bengal and to Bengali for giving them the leadership for the freedom and independence. And the British was concerned about the intellectual ability of the Bengalis at that time. And because of it, they shifted their capital, British capital, from Kolkata to Delhi because they thought the more they invest in Calcutta, the more they will be investing into the intellectual capacity of the Bengalis.
Exactly.
So the move was there. But Bengal went on, made his freedom movement, A.K. Fazlul Haq, Subhash Chandra Bose, Akram Khan, and all other leaders of the time of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and many others, and Gandhi. And this, the Bengal thought, the Bengali thought,
Yes.
that this would be a movement of freedom of all nations, of all religions, of all peoples, a country where everyone would have universal right and there will be no discrimination between any groups.
We're talking about 1947, before
I'm talking about 1930s and 40s.
no,
Okay?
the 30s and 40s.
And early 40s.
Yeah.
Then the first sign of secularism came in from Gandhi. In 1935, he made a statement that the state language of the free independent India, which includes the entire Indian subcontinent,
Yeah, exactly.
no division, would be Hindi, Hindi. And then he explained this Hindi means if it is written in the Sanskrit alphabet, it will be called Hindi. And if it is written in Arabic alphabet, it will be called Hindi Urdu.
Okay.
So at that moment, the first time the sound of Sampradayikata, Hindu-Muslim division, came from a leader who was from all the groups of leaders who are seeking from independence or so-called independence from the British colony. Okay?
Right.
That was 1935. Maulana Akram Khan, who was the editor of Azad Putrika from Bangladesh.
Maulana Azad Khan was from that time from Bengal part.
Yes, from Bengal.
Yes.
And his paper was Azad, Daily Azad was being published from Kolkata.
Yes.
Okay. On 17th April of 1937, he wrote the first editorial saying, if any language which has a claim to be the universal national language of independent India, it would be Bangla, the language. And he gave explanation that out of 38 states or 24 states, whatever it is, the number is, 16 of them knows Bangla, talks in Bangla, and the literature and another, there was a huge. And then Dr. Shahidullah.
So I want to again repeat the same, that the proposal was independent India from British colony. The official language would be Bangla because around, you told 16 or 17 states or 5 to 6 states?
No, for all over India, because they said that Hindi is hardly known in India. Urdu is only limited and sectarian.
Very sectarian.
And Bangla is a non-sectarian language, secular language, which can be used by all of India, whether south or north or west. The concept of Pakistan and East Pakistan did not emerge at that time.
Exactly. I understand. Thank you for sharing this. Go ahead, please.
And then Subhash Chandra Bose, A.K. Fazlul Haq, Muslim intellectuals, no, I would not say intellectuals in Calcutta, brother of Subhash Chandra Bose and Sarwardi, they all thought that we should cultivate primary education, pay more money to education, A.K. Fazlul Haq was the chief minister at that time. Lord Lithingo has said that he has dismissed A.K. Fazlul Haq in 1942 because he was paying more money for education, in the primary education in Bengal. Okay? Because what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow, and it should not be done anymore. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Yeah.
In 1942, the Lahore State Congress said there would be states, at least 3 states, when India becomes independent, or something. Okay.
That is that was a round table conference.
90, round table conference, and Fazlul Haq gave from Bengal. This is
From
all I'm
Bengal.
talking about. We are not categorizing Fazlul Haq as a Muslim leader or other. Fazlul Haq, a Bengali leader, who gave that statement and was supported by Subhash Chandra Bose, Sarwardi, his brothers, and all other. Okay?
Okay.
But the North India, the leaders of North India, Jawaharlal Nehru, Mountbatten, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, they immediately after 1942, they started to give this sectarian color, the Hindu-Muslim states. Majority states of Hindu religion would be in India, and Jinnah wanted Muslim, and somehow or other, that became the mainstream slogan. Sarwardi, Fazlul Haq, and Akram Khan, and Mujibur Rahman, who was at that time student leader in Calcutta, organizing all Bengal Students' Union, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. All of them realized the reality. For them, it was the reality was either to accept the departure of British in August and then resolve the problem, or if they make the infight, the British will have the excuse of staying longer. Okay?
Exactly.
So this artificial concept of East and West Pakistan was accepted by Bengal with great reluctance. All right?
Okay.
1947, 14th August, Pakistan was born and India was born. 2 different countries based on religion. Muslim majority, Hindu majority. Very unfortunate, but it took place. Now, let's come to Pakistan. September of 1947 or December of 1947. What we had in East Pakistan, we had, let me give you a little bit of the figure.
Sure.
The figure, because you will understand it a little more at that time.
Exactly. And our reader and our spectator, they definitely want this information to understand, because this is also a good information that you already shared, and we love it. That there was also a proposal that all Indian national language would be Bangla as a common language. That's very important information. Thank you for sharing. So go ahead, please.
Okay. So 1948, January of 1948, we will find 29,333 primary schools in East Pakistan. as
That is
compared.
after, that is after the India dividation and becoming born
Yeah,
two state based on two nations theory.
that's right. And now we have Pakistan, East Pakistan, and West Pakistan, one country ready to march forward.
And
Um,
now the number you are giving sharing right now, these are only for the East Pakistan.
no, I'm giving both. East
Okay.
Pakistan number is 29,633 in
Mhm.
1948, January, and West Pakistan number of schools is 8,413. So you can see the number of schools in East Pakistan was 4 times more than in West Pakistan, although the population was more or less 51-49%,
Yeah.
which indicates East Pakistan, I still will call Bangla,
Bangla.
but for your audience, let me use the word East Pakistan for some time, for a few minutes,
East
which means
Pakistan
they,
means the whole by Bengal we are talking about
yeah,
in that Pakistan period of time.
yeah,
Yes.
East Pakistan within,
Right.
not the Bengali speaking part of India. I'm talking about East Pakistan.
The part of Pakistan. Okay.
Yeah, which means Bangladesh,
Yes.
which is East Pakistan, at that time was East Pakistan. I will
Right.
call it from now on Bangladesh for clarity, had intellectual capital through as a primary school being as a measure of intellectual capitals was 4 times more than the West Pakistan.
All
Okay?
right. Yeah.
Take that base and keep it in one aside. Then the political power or administrative power went to West Pakistan, to Karachi, and later on to Islamabad, and central government and everything else. Okay? The question now arises to me
Mhm.
and to many of you,
Yes.
did Jinnah or the rulers of Pakistan and our leaders from East Pakistan who joined the central cabinets, Najimuddin and so on and other, whether they really wanted to have an united Pakistan to move ahead with taking Bengalis with them or not. And my theory is that at that very moment, the central government of West Pakistan have decided that this word, what Bengal thinks today, India thinks tomorrow, has to be minimized, annulled, diminished, taken out.
Oh my God.
Okay?
Okay.
They wanted the East Pakistan or to be a place from which they can take the money out, they can drench it out. It become again a point of, of benefiting from East Pakistan, rather than enriching East Pakistan and learning from East Pakistan and its intellectual capacity. Okay, how they did it? In 1948, 11th March, in the parliament, they declared Urdu would be the only national language of Pakistan.
By
Hmm?
who told
By
this?
central government.
By
Okay.
Pakistani central government.
Yes. Who opposed? Shahidullah and others.
Doc,
Shahidullah,
Dr. Muhammad
Dhirendranath Dhar, Dr.
Dr.
Muhammad Shahidullah, Dhirendranath Dhar, Tominuddin Khan, others. Who was the education minister at that time? Mr. Fazlur Rahman. Okay. his son has been prominent later on. Okay. Mr. Fazlur Rahman, who is from Bangladesh or Bengal, said not only Urdu would be the language of Pakistan, all Pakistan, but Bengali should also be, Bangla should also be written in Arabic alphabet. So we have to surrender our script alphabets to write Bangla in Arabic alphabets because it will expedite the understanding and bondage between East and West Pakistan.
That is absurd.
And when there was such a minimal budget of 505 lakhs at that time on education,
Oh,
hardly
5
any money,
Okay.
he prepared 100, he made a scheme for 100 schools to be established in East Pakistan in primary education, who will teach primary education in Bangla using Arabic words.
Bangla would be written by Arabic alphabets, and that is will be Bangla language. And they wanted to open more than 100 schools in Bangladesh, that time East Pakistan.
Okay. The students of Dhaka University, under the leadership of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman,
Yeah.
1948, March, they immediately realized that if Bengal or Bengali has to stay intellectually alive, only vehicle they have is their intellectuality, and that intellectuality can only be advanced through the language of Bangla. So the demand came Bangla Bhasha Sangram Parishad.
That is in 1948 or that time around, or
No, March of 1948.
no, March of 1948.
Within 6 months of so-called partition between India and India, okay?
Within 6 months of dividation of whole India into two states, independent states.
Precisely. Those leaders realized that what was going to happen for Bengalis in East Pakistan. Unfortunately, our brothers in West Bengal did not realize that. Just in bracket. Okay.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Thank you.
Just for those, nothing to worry, but they didn't realize that.
Okay.
We fought for Bangla in 1948, 49, in 1952, 21st February. I attended that march when the blood shone. The Jinnah was in 1950 in Dhaka University, when he said only Urdu would be the state language of Pakistan and no other language.
And
Dhaka
you were physically present there?
No,
Or?
not in Jinnah's one. In 1952 one I was. But in 1950 when Jinnah was at that time, I was only a student of class 6 when Jinnah visited.
Exactly.
But so the students of Dhaka University, I'm not saying Dhaka University, students of East Pakistan or East Bengal rose up immediately to advance the cause of Bangla. That means in every step of the Bangla, advance of Bangla as a language, advance of Bangla as an identity, advance of Bangla as a nation, advance of Bangla as a promise for growth. The students were behind it, and there were intellectual leaderships. Okay?
Right.
1952 to 1960. In Pakistan, by that time, realized that this medha
Yeah.
has to be diminished.
This intellectuality has to be diminished.
Intellectually, has to be. They did say it clearly, openly. They took the measures. First, they tried to take the language. Then they tried to take the culture. Then they said there would be no songs in Rabindra Sangeet or anything. And then they said the dances should not be there, arts and culture should not be there, drama should not be there. And all those things was continued until 1960 onwards. Okay? I will come back to the primary school figures later on.
Sure, sure.
By 1960, fortunately for Bengalis, from now on I will use Bengali
Yeah, of
for
course.
East Pakistan.
Yes,
Okay.
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh এবং Bengali.
Bengali. Exactly.
Bangla. By 60s, there was, sometime in each nation, in some crossroads, a group of intellectuals born who comes in forefront at the ages of 40, 50, 60 or 70, who becomes legend. In 60s, Bangladesh saw a emergence of leaders, intellectual leaders, in every field of intellectuality. In literature, in drama, in science, in education, and whatnot.
Exactly. What not?
And whatnot. The names I can say: Abul Fazl, Abu Mansur Ahmed, what you call it? Gobind Jyotirmoy Thakurata.
Exactly.
Munir Chaudhuri, Johir Rahan, Khan Ataur Rahman. We'll get Kafi Khan, who are here.
Yeah, Kafi Khan, your colleague.
Yeah.
From Voice of
Sharful Alam,
Yes,
Shamsuddin Abul Kalam.
exactly.
Everywhere, Nurul Momin, Joinal Abidin,
Jainal Abidin
Kamrul Hassan.
Kamrul
You
Hassan.
look at left and right, you find Abbasuddin, you will find legends appear in the scene in 60s. And what they're doing? They're trying to spread the intellectuality of Bangladesh. Teaching, learning, they're all around of us. They're exciting us to move and move forward.
Exactly.
And this generation had created an identity among the students and the youths and others for a freedom of its own, for a kind of freedom where they can express their voice, their language, their land, and others.
Exactly.
At the same time, a group of economists, development practitioners, and others emerged, like Dr. Nurul Islam,
Yep.
Dr. Nurul Huda,
Yes.
FM Abdul Hussain, to name a few,
Exactly.
who realized that not only there is a systematic diminution of intellectual capital, Pakistan is also taking away resources from East Pakistan to West Pakistan, although they call it as parity.
From Bangladesh to West Pakistan.
Yeah, though they call it parity. So they started to identify in their research and other topics that this kind of boishommo, the discrimination, the disparity, and others.
Right.
Now, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is a politician. he took Bangla as the vehicle and the spirit of Bangla and Bangla nationalism and the language. But he also knew that Bangladesh needs economic emancipation.
Of
He
course.
needs economics, and he then, for the first time, pronounced Choi Dafa. Six
6 points. 6 points. He
6 points.
declared in 1966.
1966 he gave.
Yes. Yeah. That time still he was just Sheikh Mujibur Rahman.
Yes. Who is a young political leader deep in Bangladesh nationalism, Bangla Bhasha and others. And somebody has to give a voice. He gave a voice, and with that voice, he joined Bhashani, joined Fudlul Haq, joined Sarwardi, everyone else joined around him. And then 6 point became the issue of transfer of resources from West Pakistan to Bangladesh. Okay?
All right.
When the central government and Ayub Khan, his decade of development, so-called, was coming to an end by 1968, realized that now the Bengal is not only thinking for tomorrow, the Bengal is now realizing how disparity has taken place and how Pakistan is defrauding them and
Yes.
other issues, total world. So they decided now is the time to do and kill, annihilate these intellectuals who are teaching the new generation
In Bangladesh.
in Bangladesh. So the 1971 10 to 14 December intellectual killing was only the end part of it. The killing of the intellectuals, annihilation of the intellectuals, taking away of the institution had started from 1969 onwards. And a list was made and maintained. And some was done aggressively, some was not. Then all of the history, 1969 gone off with fun, 1970 election, it came into power, and Pakistan is Sheikh Mujib was the only leader at the only party at that time, Awami League, only at that time in 1970, who was active and represented the wishes of Bangladesh. Muslim League was not there. Other parties were only a small portion. So it's the only party who was there under a unique leadership because there was no other alternate leadership. He took over the role and fought, right? At the
Exactly.
cost of his own life.
Exactly.
And then 21st March came. He knew that if he flies away from the country, there will be bloodshed, far more bloodshed. He decided, he allowed Pakistanis to take him to Karachi so the country can be saved. The blood shed can be saved. There is a book written by only 2-3 years ago, known as Vortex. An
Okay.
American, US journalist has written it. We'll see the clear documents of the State Department and others showing what was the thought at that time of Sheikh Mujib, Bhutto, Niazi, and all others.
Right.
Okay. So the 26th December, Declaration of Independence was done. 26th March of
26th March of 1971. Day after they started killing civilian in Bangladesh. I mean, 25th of March. The
That's
crackdown.
that's true.
Operation
Right.
Searchlight.
Okay. So we observe it as the day of independence. Fine.
Yes.
That's true because that's the day. Now, these 9 months of struggle, where there was struggle going on within Bangladesh by every sector of the people, those who are inside the country were much more, what you call, um, under pressure of the Pakistani rulers
Yes.
than those who are in the border fighting. Because after all, those who are fighting in the border, I'm not undermining their contribution, the soldiers and other, but they had a escape route and other. But those who are within the country, in districts, Tangai, Dhaka and others, and operating under the imperial government or colonial government, they also fought. They also fought with their own intellectuality, with their own power, in the village and other things. And all this culminated into 16th December
1971.
1971. By 6th December of 1971, Pakistan realized that they would not be able to stay anymore. But they were still in the dreamland. But they said, even now, if we can kill the intellectuals of Bangladesh, I would be able to overcome and able to rule Bangladesh for a few more years.
Oh my God. It's a heinous
They had
project.
no intention. They had no intention to leave Bangladesh. It's real theory. Some theorian says that they killed the Buddhijivis, intellectuals, because they thought before they kill, let them finish off these people. No.
Exactly.
Tikka Khan and others, they had no intention of leaving Bangladesh.
They were
They thought,
thinking.
yeah, they had no. They thought, let's kill them expeditiously so that when we bring them, Pakistan, back to us, there would be a society where there is no teachers, no other, and would
No,
be able to prolong our stay.
reach without any intellectual people. That will be only the land and some humans there.
Yes, and enough things to feed their economy.
Yes.
So therefore, 16th December is the day when our generation, our forefathers, the generation of my fathers, and we all together have been able to reach a time where we reached our protoy, our internalization, our realization
Our
that
promise.
we have a land now, we have a language now, we have a surrounding now. It may not be the whole of Bengali speaking area, but it is some of it. We have a flag now. We have a national anthem now. And we have, however limited it is, we have our intellectual property now with which we can advance. We can tell to our generation, future generation, that the land that we have from our generation of 1910, 1905 has promised to you, has delivered. So this
So
is the day of promise. Now
So
it is for you to take it over.
yes. Now, 16th of December 1971, as we celebrated Victory Day, because, 93,000 Pakistani army surrendered to the Allied forces in Dhaka. But as your analysis are telling, we learned from you, thank you so much, that this is how it is that a promise for our future, we that a Bangladesh, a independent Bangladesh will prosper with their intelligent people. And not only that, that this is the point that we have said ourselves a big promise that we'll keep doing progress. But let me go back, Dr. Noor, that as I understand, or as I know, that you work in Pakistan Planning Commission in the time before, before even Bangladesh became. Uh, if you can just give us some of your personal experience, how they are West Pakistanis had their behavior towards Bengalis or Bangladeshis.
Uh, I will not say any personal. I will tell, there we are all friends and other things, so that's true. But I will say an historic incident. Okay.
Okay.
In 1961, for the first time, an Education and Manpower Commission was established in Pakistan, chaired by G. Ahmed, who was the pioneer civil servant of Pakistan, well
Okay.
respected.
Okay.
This is the first commission where there was equal number of members are equal from East Pakistan and West Pakistan.
Yeah.
12, 6 here, 6 here. We had, from East Pakistan, we had businessmen, 2 vice chancellors, one economist, and a group, distinguished group, and similarly a distinguished group from West Pakistan.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to be the head of the secretariat of that commission. And for 9 months of work, we came to the conclusion that the education and manpower principles of Pakistan has to be of 2 streams, 2 distinct streams. Whatever West Pakistan would need to do will not be aligned with the liberated policies that is required in Bangladesh, like universal primary education, rights of women to educate themselves, rights of women to decide their own future. And our members were adamant that these should be stated. And of course, West Pakistan side also, they wanted to have their own views on it.
Okay.
And this is the first time Ghulam Ahmed, who decided to abdicate the Education Commission. And he told us before his decision that this commission will not. He said the path of East Pakistan is distinctly liberal and forward-looking than the path of West Pakistan.
Exactly.
But I, as a chairman, cannot place a report which has 2 different streams.
Exactly. So as I understand that from you, what I am learning, that there was already a big. I know that West Pakistan and so-called East Pakistan, that means Bangladesh, then the geographically they are so different and in different position. In between these two lands, there is a big India, and also the mentality and your work experience giving us a more information that we are so separate, and that our way was always different, and we were more progressive, more liberal than the West Pakistanis. Let's say for our spectator or listener or visitor, and today and future, I want to ask you, as I know also that you personally knew Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. You had a chance to work in his in his cabinet. I mean, not in the cabinet like the cabinet, but you worked in his first 5 years plan under Bangabandhu's administration. Uh, I want to hear from something about, especially Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as a person, as you know from your personal experience with him while you were working with him in the first 5 years planning.
Meeting Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and the Chairman of the Bangladesh Planning Commission, was definitely a blessing to my life.
Thank you. Of course.
I was working in the World Bank at that time. I joined the World Bank in 1970, before the, and in being in Washington, and have been associated with the writing of the education policy, first education policy, associated with the World Bank. I helped them. But when the Bangladesh independence took place, Bangladesh Planning Commission was created. Dr. Nurul Islam asked me to come and prepare the education and manpower part of the first 5-year plan. And as I joined on 1st January of 1973 and stayed until, as it was a 1-year contract, because I had to do other works here. That's the way the World Bank decided to place me here. Exactly. But I came as a civil, I took the option of being a civil servant of Bangladesh, not a staff of the World Bank. Okay. Anyway, so in the second week of January 1973, though I'm a government officer, I thought I made a request to see the Prime Minister.
Good.
Which could be called, because I was only 31 years old. I mean, I could be an angry man anyway. Okay. And to my surprise, this visit was granted.
Oh my God, good.
Yep. And after, it's a long meeting, but I said, but after he asked me, why did you came to see me? That was his clear answer, a clear question to me.
Very clear question, straight question. Why you want to see the Prime Minister?
And asked him that I've been given this task. I came from the bank. He said, yes, I know everything about you. When, I allowed Nurul Islam that he should come. I have not met him before anything. When I said I wanted to know your views of how you see the education and manpower part of Bangladesh should be advanced.
Straight to Bangabandhu, that was your question?
Yes.
In 1973?
1973. He said, this will take a long time. And I said, of course, then you will give me now time I will come anytime you ask me to come. but I need some directions now, as I start. And he smiled and said, primary education. Primary education. Look at the girls' education at the primary level and primary. Bangladesh Constitution in 1970, Article 17, includes primary education as a right for everyone. Compulsory primary education was introduced in 1973. Primary education got the highest allocation ever until the first 5-year plan, in the first 5-year plan of Bangladesh.
Exactly.
And now let's come back to the first story that I was telling you. East Pakistan had 29,633 primary schools in 1947. You remember that number?
Yeah.
Pakistan had 8,400. In 1973, Bangladesh had 29,000 primary schools. 23 years of our fight and our things, we had 29,000 schools. And Pakistan had, at that time, 41,000 schools.
So they doubled.
The fact that we Bengalis, been able to keep our intellectual capacity is still emerging, still following, still coming up, and creating our own identity despite the small number of schools and institutions.
Exactly, half number, because they have 41,000 and we have around 29,000. So that is a big difference. But the most of the population, I mean, in Bangladesh that time it was 75 millions Bengalis, Bangladeshis, and in East Pakistan, I think, West Pakistan, I think it was around 50 millions or 45 millions. For 45 millions, they had primary school at 41,000, as you just mentioned the number. And we had in our side only 29,000. So it's a big difference. But the boom of intellectual people in Bangladesh in that time in 1960s, actually you named maximum of them, but we have a lot of others. And that's why the West Pakistanis was always afraid that this East Pakistan, that means Bangladesh, will not, they cannot. Actually, they wanted to keep this as long as they keep it, because the resources, the natural resources and human resources, everything they were using from east to west, and they build their structure and everything in west. This is the history. But as you told, also a personal experience with the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and yeah, just tell me, as a person, when you've seen him, talk to him. We know him. We know him as a world leader, a human, the best human, one of the best human in the world, and our best leader. So tell me something about him, so that how you found him. When you talk to him, when you've seen him, what is the difference than you've never seen him and after meeting personally with him?
You know, the first time I met him, and then during 1973, I had met him 3 more times, critical periods, altogether probably 130 minutes in 4 meetings.
In 4 meetings, 30 minutes altogether.
130 minutes.
Oh, 100. Oh, it's a big. I thought only 30 minutes. Okay.
No, 130 minutes probably altogether. But it is one-to-one basis meetings, with only either Nur Islam or other personal, not Dr. Nur Islam, I mean personal staff.
Personal staff,
staying,
personal assistant.
being there. And we had
Oh, I
one-to-one.
know Onubhai. Onubhai was
Onubhai.
doing it. Yeah, yeah,
Onubhai was there. At
yeah.
least in 2 meetings, Onubhai was there. And what I found that he treated me as a young rebel, like what you could say, like a father, but a father, not like a father, but like a uncle who is fatherly, right?
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Who is willing to tolerate everything of your insubordination or anything you can say, and at the same time can lead you up another. You know, because I don't know any whether Bangabandhu has granted any staff of the planning commission to meet him directly on the discussions on the 5-year plan. As far as I know, all the discussion on the first 5-year plan was conducted between Dr. Nur Islam and Bangabandhu.
Yes.
But this independent way of I took the unitary step, and he supported it and he gave his views one after another, was something which is unique in my life.
So I'm so proud to have you today and learn from you, know about Bangabandhu personally, because as you also mentioned that you are proud that you met with Bangabandhu and you found a human who is a kind, fatherly uncle, fatherly or something like that. And definitely this is what our reader, spectator, they will know about Bangabandhu from your voice today. You know, this event we call The Voice is your voice. Now we are really at the end of today's discussion, or how we say the voice is your voice. I have final question to you. Today is the 53rd Victory Day, as you say, Day of Promise of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is independent. Bangladesh is 53 years old. And nowadays, all the political turmoils, and after all of these feelings, that we are looking for something called, as I mentioned in the first question, that yet why does it feel like we are still searching for freedom? My question to you, Dr. Noor, I know that I call you Noor Bhai, but Dr. Noor, what is our future? Thank you.
Our future, we have to address it another day, but at this moment, our future is limitless. We can reach the sky. We can do anything we want. The entrepreneurship of the Bengali, of my land, is you cannot count it, you cannot measure it. Today we have what? More than 1 crore Bengali in all states, all countries of this world. There are little Bengal everywhere, Bangladesh everywhere. Their progenies are growing up everywhere. They are born there. They like their own country, but they know they have their roots in Bangladesh. My son, who was born here, who watches news every day of Bangladesh, and he's not an exception. Every Bengali I meet, Bangladeshi I meet, they go back to the list, what is happening or not. They know they have a country to go anytime, whether they are citizens of United States or whether they're citizens of India or they are citizens of Malaysia or Indonesia or Australia. As long as they have blood of Bangla, they are progenies of Bangladesh, they know the Bangladesh will welcome them anytime, without visa, without anything. because they know that's their land. And our promise that of 16 December 1971, my conclusion, I know whether you are asking me or not, but I will tell.
Please.
I would say my generation and generation that followed me in the next, have failed the progenies in their growth. Because they have failed, during the 53 years, I would not say nothing has happened. I will discuss, there is a lot of things we have achieved, but we have achieved more. But we failed them because we didn't try to achieve more. We achieved the minimal and harnessed for ourselves more. In that sense, my generations and my colleagues have failed them, the new generation, the generation of 2024 and onwards. I think in a way we should be recognizing this failure before they march forward. And they will march forward. I have faith.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to having you with The Voice is Your Voice. I just wanted to ask you, this is not a question, just to mention you, the freedom fighters and all Bangladeshis in 1971 from 26th March to up to 16th December, 9 months long. That was a popular, it was not a conventional struggle with Pakistani, even though Pakistani had conventional armed forces in Bangladesh, but our fight was just a guerrilla fight, and every Bangladeshi, we used a slogan, Joy Bangla. So I want to hear from you, Joy Bangla.
Joy Bangla. Joy Bangla. Joy Bangla.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was our first episode, The Voice is Your Voice, with Dastagir Jahangir from Washington, D.C. Today, we had a special guest, Dr. Abdul Noor. Today, the 16th December, marks Bangladesh's Victory Day. We call it Bijoy Dibosh, celebrating the triumph over the Pakistani army under the leadership of Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the party Awami League, with support from the Indian Army in 1971. The war cost 3 million Bangladeshi lives and 2 million women were raped. The freedom fighters' slogan, Joy Bangla, meaning freedom of Bengal, still resonates today. So I will say, Joy Bangla. See you later.
Thank you.
Thank you.